I was scared to fail. So what? If you fail, so what? You can do it again. You will not die. If you fail, you will not die. You can literally clean yourself up, dust your bum, stand up, and do it again. And you can do it again and again and again, because as long as there's life, there's hope. So when I realized that, I said, okay, you're afraid to fail. That's fine. That's really fine. If you fail, you do it again. That's all. And just the thought of just even telling that to myself was so much relief. Hi everyone, welcome to Shared Chapters on Bojpod.com. I am Kimia Andrew. I remain yours truly, and you're welcome to my space where I let you into my life, into my journey, into my stories, and you get to pick something from me, right? So you can learn from my stories, can learn from my mistakes, anything, right? I'm just letting you into my story, and you get to pick the chapters that are most enjoyable to you. So on today's episode of Dealing with Anxiety. Now, I know that I've said this in so many times, but growing up, I used to be timid. I know it's like I've been saying this so many times, but bear with me. Anyway, so I have dealt with anxiety for a lot. I used to have panic attacks, like after secondary school, if my mom should just say, Kimia, go to Bukuru Market for us. Anxiety. I start having like palpitations. I used to have so much anxiety. At the thought of just going outside, I used to start panicking. But I had to gradually learn. And for most people that deal with anxiety, the root of that is beyond just being afraid. It's something that causes the fear. And for me, having that fear there I've dealt with it when it comes to other things, but it still finds a way to creep into some other spaces. It's like when you clean it from here, it's now moved to another place. And I think it was last week that I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, and it was because of a fear that I didn't know. You know that thing that you're afraid of something, but you don't know what you're afraid of, and it just keeps crippling you. So that was the space I was in, I think last 2 weeks towards last month. Majority of last month, I was just dealing with anxiety. I didn't want to put anything online. I didn't want to work on my videos online. I was so anxious, and I didn't know why. So I sat down with myself and I said, okay, what's causing this fear? We know it's fear. We just don't know what it is. And when I say we, I am talking to myself. I am the we. So yes. So I had to sit down and be like, okay, guys, what is causing this fear? Why are we freaking out? It was so bad. I have other things that I'm working with online, and I think I stopped working on my Instagram page when it came to my pattern making videos and all. I stopped working on it because I was scared. I was terrified. I was just anxious, and I couldn't tell why. Well, I figured it out last week, and it was a fear that I've always dealt with, but somehow this time around I couldn't recognize it. And it's the fear of failure. Now, a lot of the time, when people there are some people that have the gift that when they're afraid of something, they're able to push past it. And sometimes I have that. Sometimes when I'm scared of something, I push myself. I force myself to do it, which doesn't usually end up with the result that I want, but at least it pushes me. But for some reason, this time around, I couldn't recognize that fear was fear of failure and embarrassment. Yes, fear of embarrassment is very real. It can make you not do anything. I was scared that whatever it is that I was planning to do was going to fail. I was scared that I was going to say the wrong thing online and it would create a backlash. But I didn't know. Now, the reason why I keep hammering on the fact that I didn't know is because when I am able to figure out what I'm afraid of, I'm able to squash it. It is when I see the fear, when I shine a light on the fear, that I'm able to be like, okay, you're the cause. I'm going to take you captive. Let's see how we're going to do. So I didn't know those were the fears that I was dealing with. I was just experiencing anxiety. So when I sat down myself and I figured out I was scared to fail, and I told myself, so what? If you fail, so what? You can do it again. You will not die. If you fail, you will not die. You can literally clean yourself up, dust your bum, stand up, and do it again. And you can do it. And you can do it again and again and again, because as long as there's life, there's hope. So when I realized that, I said, okay, you're afraid to fail. That's fine. That's really fine. If you fail, you do it again. That's all. And just the thought of just even telling that to myself was so much relief. I realized that for a long time, I wasn't kind to myself. For a long time, I wasn't in a relationship with myself. I didn't like myself. I saw myself as an obstacle. I saw myself as somebody that wasn't worthy of a lot of things. And over the past few years, and when I say over the past few, I'm talking about 2021, 2022, those were the years that I really began to have a relationship with myself. I really began to date myself and get to know myself, right? So I learned to be really kind to myself, because I wasn't very kind to myself. I didn't used to talk to myself with kindness. Like even forcing myself to face my fears, was also part of an unkindness. I wasn't kind to myself. The kind of person that I am, I don't need to be forced to do anything. I've already been forced to do a lot in life. I don't really need that forcing anymore. What I needed from myself was kindness. I needed to show myself that I loved her. I needed to let her know that she was safe with me. She can trust me. And believe me, you can lose your own trust. And I had lost the trust of myself. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself to make certain decisions. I didn't trust myself to decide, to make the best choices. Even the little things. Music-wise, I would force myself to listen to certain music for whatever reason. And I had to start learning to love myself. So when I was talking to myself, I learned how to talk kindly to myself and let myself know that she's safe with me. And even if she fails, it's fine. I'm not upset. If I fail, we are in it together. So we'll pick up ourselves, dust ourselves up, and we move on. So when I realized that there was this, it's almost like a sigh of relief inside me. I could feel myself be like, okay. So that's fear one of failure. Fear two of embarrassment. If you know what embarrassment can cause to somebody, being afraid, if you're the kind of person that's sensitive, you know what that fear is, being afraid to say the wrong thing and people laugh at you. And yes, I laugh at myself. I laugh at myself a lot. But sometimes there are certain things that you're really sensitive about that you do not want to be laughed at, and people will laugh at you. And it's now your job to learn to just grow up and not let it get to you. Learn to tell yourself that it's not personal. So when I also found out that my second fear was fear of embarrassment. I said, hey, if you say the wrong thing, own up, apologize. Number one, you're not even afraid of owning up. I'm not afraid of saying that, oh, I'm wrong. I used to be that proud that if I say something wrong, I'll be like, I will argue to the end on rubbish. And it never benefits anybody. So I have learned that even if I'm arguing with my full chest, I know it, and then you say something that I know that, okay, this person has actually made a point. As I'm arguing, it's like I'm looking at myself with side eye. I'm like, see, you're wrong. Just admit it. And I'll admit it. I might admit it in a copying out manner, but I'll admit it. I'm like, oh, okay, you're actually right. What you say is actually right. I'm actually wrong. Because there's nothing that it will take from me if I say that I'm wrong. I will not die. I am still here. I have admitted that I'm wrong so many times, and I'm still here. So if I'm wrong, I will literally come up here and say, okay, what I said on so episode, what I said to so person, I was wrong, and this is me coming back to retract what I said and apologize for whatever I said that is wrong. I will do that. It will not cost me anything, right? But yeah, putting myself out here this way has really opened up some cans of anxiety worms that I never knew were there, or that I've known were there, but nothing has really pushed them to move. and it's been will I say fun ride? It's been a tricky ride. Yes, it's been a tricky ride, like navigating all these emotions of being anxious because you know that, okay, the amount of people that will not start seeing your face, you'll be like, do I want this much attention? Because I know that I don't want this much attention. And it's part of life. There are some things that just call you and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to have to face it, to be honest, and deal with them. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I just wanted to know that whatever anxiety you're dealing with, it comes from somewhere. It has roots in something. It's always fear, yes. But what are you afraid of? Sit down with yourself. Find out what you're afraid of. Be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself in a manner that is best befitting to yourself. For some people, they need to always be calling themselves out on their BS. For some people, you need to be like, guy, you are lying, stop it. For some people, you need to talk to yourself in a loving and kind manner. And for some people, you need to be like, okay, since you won't listen to me, I know who you will listen to. And you get yourself somebody that will tell you exactly what you should hear. Exactly what you need to hear. Not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So, you shouldn't sentence yourself to a life of anxiety. There's always a way out. There's always a way around. For some people, it takes a lot more work than just talking to yourself. For some people, you need to get yourself a therapist. I feel like we need to have like a serious therapist culture in this country because we need it, right? We need it. But surround yourself with people that will help you, and you'll be on track to figuring yourself out. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for staying tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Send me questions if you have any. Just drop them in the comment section below. I am ever ready to answer questions and to just get to know my community. Take care. Bye.